The Young Lawyers Division of the Mississippi Bar annually sponsors the Mississippi High School Mock Trial Competition. And recently at the Oxford Regional, as a judge, I was able to commend both teams. I think one team had 2 children or grandchildren of the Faris Law Firm on the mock trial competition team. And I encourage them to always seek higher ground. Sometimes people think you want a mean and nasty lawyer, but only mean and nasty people hire mean and nasty lawyers. It's the mechanic part.
Okay, hold on just 1 minute. He was just pulling the car in. What I'm saying, what's wrong with they?
Well, what happened, that's why I need to talk to a mechanic. What happened is this lady, my client, took her car in and got the oil changed, and then there was, after she left, there was all kind of burning smell and clunking and this and that, and so she called them and they said bring it in the morning, and the next day she did. They sprayed, they said, well, there's just some oil that was spilled during the oil change, and they sprayed her hot engine with cold water, and then she took off and her car blew up. The engine has holes in it, and Shell had it towed, I believe, to Marty's Imports.
Oh, Shell had it towed here.
I think so. That's why I need to talk to Marty.
So they're suing Shell, or who they're suing?
No, I'm trying to figure out what went on. I don't know enough about cars to even know. She filed it. The district manager, Mike Williams for Shell, said that it could be a factory defect in the...
I think I remember that. What kind of car was it? What kind of car? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's a Toyota RAV, however they say that. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the maroon car. I remember that they had all kind of folks coming out here looking at that thing.
Okay.
The Shell people did, they had all kind of, they come out here and done all kind of stuff. But if you hold on just a minute, he was just pulling in here. Oh, hey, let me holler at him.
Thank you.
Hey! Here he comes right here.
Thank you. Hi, this is Vicki Hoggett. I'm looking for Marty the mechanic.
I'm Marty.
Okie doke. Ernestine Freeman asked that I figure out what's going on with her. She had an oil change at Shell Lube this back in March. Do you remember the car? It was a Toyota Rave?
Yeah,
Okay, and after she had this oil change, she noticed, I don't know if it was a lot of noise or clunking or whatever, but she called them and they told her to bring it back the next day, and they sprayed cold water on her engine saying that it had just been some oil spilled or something. She drove out and apparently the whole motor blew a hole in it or something.
That's correct.
Okay. As a mechanic, what do you think could have caused that?
Well, that thing had a lot of miles on it, number one.
Okay.
I know people think Toyotas are good for 200,000 or 300,000 miles. That's true. But the same difference is that car, she bought the car second-hand to start with, so she don't know who took care of it to start with. But on the other hand, she did have her oil changed there, and then they had her to bring it back. They checked. Now, when they came out here, when they came out here from the express lube over there, or whatever it is, Shell Rat Lube or whatever it is, they came out here. They came out here themselves, and we jacked that car up. They took the oil filter off and checked it and everything else. But now, however, when the insurance adjuster came, it did not have an oil filter on the car because they carried the filter with them. That was wrong.
Okay, the thing, I don't know anything about cars, so you're going to have to educate me, but apparently Mike Williams, the district supervisor for Shell, said that it could have been a factory defect in the filter, that sometimes they're double jointed, and asked her if he could take the...
If the filter's a defect filter and the oil cannot circulate through the filter, yes ma'am, it's good enough to take that thing, sling the rods out of it.
Yeah. told him he couldn't take the filter. That's why, I'm wondering why he did. If it were your car and you'd taken it in and the same thing happened, what would you think happened?
I would think that maybe it was a malfunction on a filter, or somebody didn't put enough motor oil in it or something. Now that's what I would think now. And it's just, that's my professional opinion, ma'am. Really and truly, I looked at it, and I can't really tell you what happened or why it swung the rods out of it. I just know it was starving for oil to be able to sling the rods out of it.
You knew it was starving for oil for there to...
It's be out of all of my years' experience. If the crankshaft don't get oil, they start seizing up. And when they start seizing up, they'll sling the rods will try to lock down on the crank, and whenever it's spinning over, it's going to move them. It's going to break them, sling them out. It's going to do something to them. Okay.
If she has to, what happened is the LaFleur Auto Sales that she bought it from is where it got towed to, and they told her they'd look for a motor, and the motor was so expensive to replace that she didn't want to do that. So they, according to her, Debbie Goss at LaFleur Auto Sales told her, well, if she'd forfeit her down payment and not care about it, that they'd just take it even Steven. Well, she decided she wanted to try to fix it. She went to make a payment on it, and they had sold it. They had sold her car. So she decided she wanted to sue them, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, they decided they wanted to sue her. And so she paid like $2,150 down on it, and then some payments, and they sold it for $1,800, and now they want $2,000 or $3,000 from her for that car.
Right.
So she's trying to figure out what to do now to avoid ending up. So if we end up having to go to court and talk about what may have caused it with the shell thing, would you be willing to say under oath the same thing you just told me? Not that just what you told me, you don't have any idea, but in all your years of experience, if it's not starving for oil, it doesn't throw a rod.
Well, see, the thing about it is who is she suing? Is she suing Mims Auto? Or
She's not suing anybody. Mims Auto is suing her for the deficiency on the note, even though she has no car. There's no car for her to get. Like I said, she paid over $2,000 down. They sold it for $1,800, and now they want another $2,000 or $3,000 on that note.
Well, see, basically now, let me tell you now. See, basically, I'm going to tell you how it works now. She can do whatever she wants to do, but whenever you start suing a small business in Greenwood, I know I had a lady I rebuilt the transmission for, and there wasn't a thing wrong with the transmission. Her dad had put an air compressor on the car and overfilled it with Freon, and it would make that car go dead because the engine was so small. Well, automatically she said it was the transmission. Well, we run scans on it, we checked the transmission out, and she drove it to the court date. And the judge still made me give that gal $600 of her money back. But the thing about it is there was an issue there that wasn't right. And, of course, I tried to appeal it, and the judge wouldn't let me appeal it, and he got me for contempt of court because I got seeming mad up in there. Yeah. Of course, I know that don't have anything to do with you, but I swore that I wouldn't get in nobody's business because didn't nobody stick their nose into my business and try to help me out with that. And I swore that I wouldn't get in nobody else's business. Yeah. And now you're talking about three businesses in Greenwood that respect me, yeah. and I've got to go up against them, and I just don't think I don't think I can do that. Yeah. Because number one is I really don't know what happened to the car. Right. Number one, and number two, and I'm not being mean, ma'am. But you got two businesses here that I've got to try to get along with, and you got to try to follow where I'm at.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you just talking to me and giving me a little insight, and maybe I can get Dynamite Kirk from Kirk Ford and Toyota and all that is an old friend and neighbor. I grew up in Grenada.
Yeah, well,
and so maybe somebody from.
If I wasn't in Greenwood with these folks and having to work around these folks, and I'm already business is kind of bad already, and I sure don't want to add to it. You understand?
I understand that. What I was saying is maybe I can find somebody in Grenada that
maybe somebody that ain't in this town.
Right. I know how little towns in the South are for sure.
Well, it's terrible here. I've got Shell Rapid Loot over there. They send me some jobs where the plugs are busted in the rear end, and that lets me make a little money there. And and I don't want to make enemies out of nobody in Greenwood. Right. It's too small.
Right. Okie doke. Well, thank you for talking with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bye-bye. That was Marty's import. So he said that he doesn't think an engine in all his years of being a mechanic throws a rod without being starving for oil, and he thinks it may have been the oil filter. But he's only guessing. And he knows it wasn't right for them to take the oil filter. He's not willing to serve as a witness. Okay, so